Right, just going to pop you guys on mute and we'll share some sound. We had a few tech issues in the studio this week, but hopefully Gaz, being the man, spending 9 hours on it, has sorted it. So can you hear the music with me over the top? Give me a thumbs up. Great. Okay, so let's do some mobilization for our shoulders. So we're going to do a little roll back up to your ears. Breathing in, breathing out. So just tuning into your breath. And then we'll do a little tilt for the head. And move to the center. So as you tilt the head, notice how it's feeling today. And then a little look over your shoulder. And move to the middle. And look behind you. We're going to take the arms out wide. And do it again. Palm up on the other hand. And then we rotate the hands at the same time as the head. You hold your head as you look behind you, so you feel a bit of pull, and then repeat the other side. So look behind, hold, push slightly, and do it again, breathing in and breathing out. One more time each way. Can you look around a bit further so you open up a bit more of the field of vision behind you? And then let's go wider with our feet, soft knees, side leaning, reaching the fingers and coming back up. So lean and reach the fingers and coming back up. Let's do it again. And adding in a forward lean, which is flat back, so you're going to push your bottom out and then shift to the other side. So lean and a big sweep like you're reaching for the wall. And do it again. Lean and reach. And do it again. Lean, reach for the wall in front of you. This time we're going to do it, but reach down for the ground. So you sweep down and around to the side, sweep down and around. That's it. So you're just kind of brushing the floor with your fingers. And one more time. Okay, let's get our joints warmed up in our wrists and our ankle. So if you can circle and then take it back in the opposite direction. And let's do that on the other side. I've got creaky ankles this morning. And back the other way. Okay, taking the feet a bit wider. We're going to circle the hip around. Big circle. Creaky hips on this side of the screen. Let's reverse and back in the opposite direction. And one more time. Okay, keeping the feet wide, we're going to turn out the toes. We're going to bend the knee. Push your bottom back. And then move to the middle. And the other side, push your bottom back. And then move to the middle. As you do it now, we should bring your opposite shoulder towards your knee. And do it again. Bend, opposite shoulder coming across towards your knee. So shoulder across. And this time we're going to hold and then turn the head so we look up to the ceiling and release. Do it again. So bend your knee, shoulder across, and then turn, look up. And again. Turn and look. Hold and breathe. And one more time each side. Hold, looking up, breathe. And one more time. So just opening the inner thighs, rotating the body. We're going to bring our feet just in a little further. We're going to plie down and then lift. Can you tuck your bottom under as you come down? And think of your upper body staying nice and upright as you lower. If you want to, you could go maybe a little bit wider, pressing the knees back, adding some arms if you like. Inhaling on the lift and exhaling on the way down. Now, if you want to, hold down there a little bit longer. Can you bring the back of the wrists up at the top and then open out? Let's do that again. So keep pressing your knees back, wrists touching, and then opening out. Let's do 2 more. Breathe. And final one. Alrighty, so let's find a mat each. So just gonna grab one and then let's pop down onto our backs. And let's get our backs a little bit more warmed up. So I'd like you to do some knee tucks. If you can, bring your knees up to your chest and then tap down. So level 1, knees towards your chest. Level 2, we'll add some lift. We're going to balance and then roll. See if you can get your lower back segmentally rolling against the mat. A 3rd level today. For those of you who want to do more advanced, we're going to straighten the legs, hold the V-sit, and then roll again. Extend through the toes, and then roll again. Can you do 2 more? So final one. Alrighty, can you roll onto your front next? Let's mobilize our spine by extending backwards. So hands just slightly wider than your shoulders. Notice how your back feels on the first couple, just coming up to where your back's happy today. Add a little bit of squeeze through your buttock muscles. That will give your back some support as you come up. Point your toes quite firmly. Reaching through the toes helps to actually activate part of the glutes. So good reach through your toes. Indirectly helps to support your back. If it feels appropriate for your back today, going a little higher. And pressing down through the heel of the hand as you come up. With each one now, we're going to hold at the top for 3 seconds. So pushing the ground away, hold for 3, 2, 1, and lower. So 2 more. And final one. Holding at the top. And releasing. From here, can we transition to a downward dog? So if you meet me here, tailbone lifted, press your heels down, deep breath. Can you straighten your knees? How are the calves feeling? Just tuning into the calves. Just sway a little bit, so we just put a bit more pressure through one side, and then sway over. So we put a bit more pressure through the other side. Just do that little sway again. So rocking over, hold, breathe. And one more time. So flattening the feet, soft knees. We're going to walk our hands in. Touch the toes, uncurling. Let's come up to standing. Now's a good time to have a drink if you need one. I'm having a cuppa this morning. Okay, so let's plant our feet down about hip width. And I'd like you to slide your foot behind, keeping your body as upright as you can. So you're going to point your toe quite firmly and then reach the opposite arm forwards and the other arm backwards. So you're sort of holding a superwoman pose, if you like. Pants on the outside of the lycra, and then back down. Let's do that on the other side. So leading with the leg, don't lean the body. Get the leg lifted until you feel the buttock kick in, and then opposite arm away, superwoman pose. We hold, breathe, and then transition with control. So see how much height you can get on the leg before you need to lean. Let the leg lever the body. Hold. Can you hold for 3 seconds? And then transition to the other side. So let the leg lift first. Get the buttock active. Having strong glutes really helps to support our lower back. Often when I first train people and they need help with their backs, it's often because the glutes are just not strong enough. The back's doing more of the grunt work. So if you've got that and you want to go a bit further now, that hand that's forward, can you bring it down to the ground, flatten the palm, and then bring this other one up here. So we sort of align the arms one on top of each other, pause for a few seconds, and then are we able to gracefully transfer it back, something like that. Welcome the wobble on this one. So let's try that on the other side. Leg leading the way, nice and steady. Use your eyes, look at something still. And for those of you who want to do a more advanced version, you bring the palm down. And then once you're there with the palm, stacking the arms one above the other, holding for a few seconds, and then transitioning back with some element of control. Okay, well done. Let's do some core work. So join me down onto your back. Okay, so if you can take your opposite arm and leg away now for Pilates single leg stretch. Add a little bit of core pull in, so you suck your belly button in. For level 2, we'll do it with the knees here. So we're at 90 degrees. We're going to point the toes on the way out and flex the feet on the way in. The third level, we'll do it with straight legs. Reach through your toes. You really putting some effort into your feet. Just helps to increase the activation through the muscles in the legs. Last couple. And final one. And then if you can bend your knees, open the knees around and back in. Do it again, open around and back in. Can you reverse opposite directions? So you can go a bit wider, sort of just give into gravity with your knees as you do it. Mobilizing our hips, getting good blood flow into the joints there, getting them moving. And then from here, we're going to roll to our side. Now, if you need a little cushion, a seat, a block, something just to give you a bit of lift, particularly if you find it's tricky to sit up fully straight when you're in the wide leg position. So if we open through the feet, we're going to point our toes, slide this hand down and just sort of noticing where does it get to. And then going to flex our feet. If you can get hold of your toe, a little pull, and then bringing this arm over by your ear. Point the toes as we sit up, and then flexing again. Where do you get to? Is it the shin, the ankle, the toe? Just noticing where you're at, because then you can use that as a little assessment over time of where you've moved to. Next level, bringing this hand down to the foot as well, and your ear closer to your knee. Or for third level, we're going to scoop this bottom arm away and just pull over with the top arm. So more advanced, ear down to the knee. Can you do 4 more? Find what works for you today. And 1 more on each side. So final one. And can you find a stick? If you give your legs a shake, we're going to move on to doing some oysters today. So working down the side of the hip, using the stick to check in on posture, knees up in front of the hips, feet forward. Can you lift through your waistline, point through your toes? And roll the knee back, squeeze the bottom, press back, flex the feet on the way down and hover the leg. And then can you point your toes, keep the point happening as you open through the knee, squeeze your bottom, and then flex your feet. Keep the lift in your waistline as you do it. Next level, we add some extension through the top leg up towards the ceiling. Control the limb on the way down and back in. So level 2, opening the knee, good squeeze through the bottom, reach your toes. Now, often when we do that extension or the opening of the knee, the top hip will wander backwards. You'll get so much more out of it if you can really tune in to keeping that nice and steady in the hips. Third level, we're in a side plank position. So moving up onto the bottom arm. Can we do 2 more? So last one. Okay, well done, good effort. Let's give that a go on the other side. So head, shoulders, tailbone against the stick again. Lifting the waistline, that helps to activate our deeper, lower stabilization muscles in our back. We're going to flex our feet and then point our toes, squeeze through the bottom. And let's do that again. Extending into level 2 if you want to, so you reach to the ceiling. And be mindful of the effort going on in your feet. Feel your feet. Are you going right into your big toe as you do the pointy toe? How does it feel there? Really use your feet. Coming up onto that bottom arm for third level. Can we do 2 more? Pressing your shoulders down. Is your head still attached to the stick there? And final one. Let's give our glutes a stretch next. Okay, so if you can join me down on your back, popping your right leg over your left and sliding the hands around the back of the thigh. That's it. Use your hands to pull the leg towards you, but at the same time use the other elbow to push away, drawing the chin in and just pushing the back of the head into the ground. Breathe into your belly. Just using the stretch as your breathing space, give you time for today. Level 2, we're going to pull in a bit more firmly, interlacing around the front of the shin, using the elbow to still push outwards. And then let's dig into the side of the hip. So deep breath. can you place your opposite hand on the top of the bridge of the foot here? And then we're going to take this hand out, around. So we've got both feet held now as we bring both feet to the floor. Push your bottom knee down and push your top knee out and away that way. So you're pressing the knee away from the body. Now, if you can see yourself on your screen, if that's particularly tight, highly recommend, if it's kind of angled in here, over time you want to work towards that knee pushing away. It will really benefit your hip long term, that's for sure. All right, let's give that a go on the other side. So left leggy over right. So hands around the back of the thigh. That's it. So use the elbow just to push away. Noticing where you feel the stretch, pulling in quite firmly with your hands, pushing out with the elbow. Oh, I think the storm's kicking in out here. Alrighty, so if we interlace the fingers around the front, see if you can still keep your shoulders down and your head on the floor. And then third level, if we bring our opposite hand on top of the foot, the other hand on the other foot, feet to the floor. That's it. Push your bottom knee down and push your top knee away. Can you get both of your shoulders on the floor? Because sometimes one will pop up. Lift your breastbone. That's it. So again, if you can see yourself on the screen, work at pushing this top knee out away and just being mindful of where that top leg is at. Alrighty, let's release. And we're going to rock up to a seated position. And then if we can crisscross our legs over. Now you can do this one with your feet open if it troubles your knees to sit cross-legged. Let's walk the hands forward and we're going to go quite wide with our hands, bringing our chin down towards our chest. So chin to chest, nudging the fingers forwards, breathing deeply. And again, just nudging the fingers forwards, breathing deeply. And can you go just that little bit further? Breathe. And then walking your hands in. And if you could crisscross so you've got the other foot over the top. Or stick with a wide leg. So up onto your sit bones, long in your arms. Let's come forward, go wide with the arms. Where's your furthest reach position as you go forward? Can you nudge it forward? Breathe. Notice where you're feeling the stretch. Chin down, breathe. Alrighty, let's meet up in our downward dog again. So hooking the toes under, finding your downward dog, lifting your tailbone but dropping down through your heels. Now you can either stick with the regular downward dog or can you bring one foot like this into the middle and then we're going to sweep this leg back up. Can you reach your toes up towards the ceiling? So get some height in the leg, keep pressing the heel down on the one that's on the floor. Breathe, pushing the ground away with your hands. And then let's bend the knees as we come to here, switching to the other side. So straightening both of the legs, extending with the top leg, pressing down through the heel. Is that foot on the ceiling? Breathe. Bringing the leg down. Let's take a walk with our feet. Bring the feet towards the hands. Softening the knees. Check your back's happy with that. More bend in your knees if your back's not so happy. And then hands just here around the back of the ankles. Just nudging the head a little closer to the knees. Looking, eye gaze towards the belly. Breathe. And then softening the knees and transitioning into a squat and coming back up. Okay, have a drink. Are we nice and warm? All right, so we're going to do some squat training next. Now it's up to you if you want to use a stick or find some weights. If you're using the stick, recommended if you're working on posture, or grab some weights if you want to work more on body conditioning and strength. So if you're using the stick, 3 points of contact, head, shoulders, tailbone. Feet just slightly wider than the hip. And we're going to sit our body weight back into our heels, hold, keeping the knuckles and lower back together, and then lift. Alrighty, so keep going with that if you're doing the stick. If you're using weights, we're going to bend the arms through. Next level with the weight, straightening the arm, hand about shoulder height. More advanced, if you're free from neck and shoulder injury, arms coming higher so that your arm is coming up by your ear, but still checking in on your back position. Have a little bit of core support, so you pull your belly button in, 2, 3, and release. Let's do that 3 more times. So we hold for 3 seconds in the squat position and think of your knees pushing out towards your smaller toes. Let's do that 1 more time. Alrighty, so resting off. Can you find a stick? And let's give our quads a stretch. So bringing the bottom hand into the curve of the back, heel towards the bottom. Can you get your knees to sit level? Is your heel touching your bottom? If it's not yet, good to work more regularly on these, increase the frequency throughout your day until you get that muscle at full length. Really important that we get that muscle at full length. Makes such a difference to our positioning throughout the day and our long-term care of our back and hips. So from here, we're going to bring that leg back and we're going to move into a lunge position. So opening into the hip flexors now. Nice big stride between the feet. And think of squaring up through your hip bones. Push the back of the head into the stick. And then can we transition into the quad stretch again? Side, heel towards your bottom. Head, shoulders and tailbone against the stick. Alrighty, let's give that a go on the other side. So getting hold of the foot, knees together, heel to your bottom. Pushing your hip bones forward. So use your buttocks to push your hips forward there. So there's a bit of pressure pushing the hips forward. And then from there, can we do big stride back with control? So we move into our lunge, squaring up through the hips, straightening out through the back leg, a deep bend in the front leg. Breathe. Now let's see if we can gracefully transfer, or something like that, into our quad stretch again, welcoming the wobble. So that's hopping optional. So heel to the bottom. Use the glutes again to push the hips forwards. Breathe. And release off. Okay, let's work on turning the party pack into the 6-pack. So if you need support getting up and down off the floor, we're going to do some curls. You can use a band under your feet for first level. Level 2, we'll do it hands-free. Or third level, you might want to add a weight in. So band under the feet for first level to help yourself lever down and back up. Arm facing upwards, hands free. For level 2 like this. Or if you're doing more advanced, we can bring the arms overhead, adding a weight in over time. So exhale on the lift, inhale on the lower. And we do it 4 more times, keeping the eye gaze up to the ceiling on the movement part to help align the head. So 2 more to go. And final one. And then when you're done, you can roll onto your front. And I'd like you to go into a sort of frog-like pose with the knees open, heels together. And I'm going to rest my forehead down, but you might want to just have a look at what we're doing first. So weighting the hips down as we float one leg up, and almost like we're pushing the ceiling away with a flat foot. And then we transition over to the other side. So we're lifting the thigh off the floor. And particularly if you're prone to niggles in your lower back, try and press your pubic bone into the ground so that stays attached to the floor throughout. If your back's happy, level 2, we're going to squeeze both legs up. Again, keeping the pubic bone on the floor. The third level, notice I'm bringing the upper body up. We'll hold for a couple of seconds and then come back down. So level 3, again, keeping the pubic bone on the floor as we lift and then lower. We do it 3 more times. So good strength conditioning for the back muscles, but positioning really important on these. Keep pressing the pubic bone down so that the back isn't giving into overarch. Can you do it 1 more time? And then from here, we're going to shift back into a groin stretch. So notice my knees are open, but my feet are together here. Elbows down, forward with the elbows. Now the mistake people often make with this is they sort of round their back like this and look down, but do it the opposite way. So you look up, arch your back, and then push your bottom backwards. So you're driving your body back, feet slightly open, and push your heels, your ankle bones into the ground. Breathe. Let's come over onto our backs again for some more core work. Alrighty, so Pilates double leg lift. We're going to start with our feet quite close in, and I'd like you to lift, keeping your belly button hollowed and sucked in, and then lower your body down. So feet lifted, knees fairly close to your chest, and feet close in for level 1. Notice now moving my feet further away. And then as the knees come up, we're going to 90 degrees and back down. Now let's see if we can simultaneously tap the toes on the floor as the thumbs tap down. So a bit of coordination, and then a big circle like this with your arms. So we tap down, thumbs to the floor, toes to the floor, and then a big circle out with your arms. That's it. Let's do that again. Breathing in as you extend your arms overhead and exhaling as you circle the arms down. Inhaling on the reach, exhaling on the circle. Now you might be feeling it enough as you are. If you want to go further, make sure your back's not going into overarch. You start to extend your legs more fully. Breathe. Find when I'm on the edge of my comfort zone with my core, I tend to get the shakes a little bit there. So I usually think that's a good sign that you're in the zone. outside your comfort zone, just slightly. That's where the magic happens. So if you can slow it down when you find that little shaky spot. 2 more. And last one. Alrighty, when you're done, if you can pop your hands here on top of your knees, and I want you to go like this, and knees together, circle around, and just close your eyes for a moment, sort of get into the feeling of massaging your lower back into the ground. And then reversing back the opposite way. And we're going to use our knees just to rock up to seated. Just straighten out through your back. Pop your hands just underneath your leg. Now, my knees are sat level at the moment. I can either extend my leg in a way that my knee now lowers on this side, so it's below this one. What I'd like you to do is to try and extend the leg so that the knee stays level. We're not going to drop the knee. We're going to keep the knees level as we extend. Keep lifted in the chest. So that's our first level. Our second level, I've now floated my feet off the ground. So both are now hovered. Knees are together, level 3. Keep lifted. Now you do work your lower back muscles quite strongly on this. So if it's too much for your lower back, drop down a peg. Keep lifted in your chest. I'm going to do 2 more. And final one. Alrighty, well done. Let's come up to standing. Have some water. And we're going to move into our yoga triangle pose. So if you can take your feet so they're open. I'm going to turn out over on this side, an angle at 45 degrees here. Just moving sideways. We go along with our top arm. Let the head drop slightly and bring the arm over the top. You bring that arm back by your ear. Breathe. And then bringing this arm up. Turn your head up to look towards the top hand. Breathe. Bending into this knee. Top hand is going to swap now. So we're going to bring this palm face down and swap the other one away. Straightening the back leg, looking up towards the top hand. Pushing the ground away with the bottom hand. That strengthening effect through the arm. Give in to gravity with your hip. We bring our top hand back down. We're going to take a little walkies with the hands to the middle here and have your feet quite wide apart, toes pointing forwards. We're going to walk our hands in towards the middle of our feet. Allow your head to drop down. Breathe. And then if you walk your feet back in slightly, soft knees as you come up. And let's work on the triangle pose over this side. So toes fully out and then angling in here. We're going to lean, go long with our top arm. Breathe. Flipping the arm over. Opening out again, reaching the arm directly up. Eye gaze up towards your top hand. And then from here, we're going to swap the arm, planting the hand down on the floor, pushing the ground away, straightening out through the back leg, reaching up through the fingers of the top hand. Into gravity with the hip. Bringing our top hand down, we're going to walk our hands to the middle, toes pointing forwards again. If it feels appropriate today, you could go a little bit wider through feet, but find what works for you. Pushing the body weight back into the heels slightly. Alrighty, so from there, we'll come down to a seated position. And let's take a little stretch for our neck. So if you can drop your head to one side, gentle pull, deep breath. And let's release over the other side. So allow your head to drop, bringing the hand, find the ear, close your eyes and breathe. Alrighty, let's release, bringing the hands around the back of the head, drop the chin, chin to chest, and gentle pressure. Breathe. Alrighty, so let's pop down onto our backs on the mat. So some time for some relaxation, a little bit of visualization. So if you can place your hands on top of your belly. And just taking a moment to appreciate the effort, the time you've taken to focus on doing the right thing for your joints, your health, your well-being. Little sort of yay me high five with yourself. Virtual hug, however you want to picture it. Just having that little moment of appreciation, thinking about how those efforts influence not just your bigger picture of health, but how the knock-on of that energy influences others around you. To take a deep breath, letting your belly fill up with air, and then empty. Do that again, filling up. And a nice long exhale. Blowing out, so you can't blow out any more air. Do that again, filling up. And exhaling, keep going. Imagine you're blowing out any bits of tension and worry. And just allowing yourself a moment of time just to be. Just where you feel the most comfort in your body. Perhaps visualizing a big smiley face inside your belly. There's always something a bit special and nice about being warm and cozy when there's a storm going on outside. So just having that little moment for yourself of feeling safe, calm in the storm. I'd like you to open your eyes, and we're going to turn over to do a little stretch for our wrists. So if you can move to kneeling and turn your palms face out like this. Hands down. Have a sit back so your bottom sits by your heel. That's it. And straight forearms, softening your shoulders down away from your ears. Breathe. And then if you can shake, and then we'll flip that way. So you've got your palms faced in and then over onto the back of the hand. Try to rotate your elbow so that the crease of the elbow rotates forward. Shoulders down. Breathe. And give your hands a bit of a shake out. Okay, so have a quick check-in. If you guys could, hold on, mute yourself. How are you feeling?